Hi guys, Crystal here from Homemaking on the Homestead, and today I am sharing with you 5 more DIY mixes that you can keep on your pantry shelf. These are easy to make, they're frugal to make, and I think you're really going to like them. And I call this 5 more baking mixes because I made a video a while back that had 5 pantry mixes that you could make up, and I will post the link to that one there if you didn't catch the first one. Okay, for starters today, we are going to begin with my cornbread mix. This one is so good and so easy to have on hand, and it's just like, you know, having your own stash of Jiffy cornbread box mixes, only just super easy to throw together. It's a matter of flour and cornmeal and sugar and a few other ingredients, and there you go. I made this recently when I needed some cornbread to top on top of a casserole, which that recipe is coming soon in another video, but for today. And it worked great, tasted wonderful, and was super easy to put together as well. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time showing you this one because I have talked about it before in a video. I even have a short video on it. But this is brownie mix. And it is another one that I love to have on the shelf. We really like brownies, and it is just so easy when I want some quick dessert to be able to throw a batch of brownies together. And it is very handy to have and very inexpensive compared to buying boxes of brownie mix. Okay, homemade brownie mix. Now I am going to turn some of this into a pan of brownies, and then the rest of it I'm going to put into a Ziploc bag and store it on my shelf. Now this one is really easy and can be made very versatile, or it can be made very specific, whichever you'd want. This is an instant gravy mix, similar to what you would get if you bought a packet of gravy mix, but it's all your own and very easy to throw together. So all I have in this one is basically some flour and powdered milk. Now if you want to turn this into chicken gravy mix, what you can do is just add chicken bouillon, the powdered type, and mix that in there, and now you've got that on your shelf, instant chicken gravy mix. If you want to do any other beef, vegetarian, or any other type, you can do the same thing. However, if you want it really versatile and you don't want to be limited by only having chicken available, you can do what I do. I just keep the mix on my shelf, and when I need a cup of gravy like I did for this recipe, then I just add whatever seasoning I want. I put the liquid in, which is water, and then for this one I use some better than bouillon. So I keep the better than bouillon in my refrigerator and then just add that. So it could be chicken, it could be beef, it could be vegetable, it just depends on what kind of bouillon you have. Now I know I said there were 5 recipes, but in reality there are 6. I have 2 salad dressing recipes to share with you, and I just kind of grouped those together. This first one is Italian dressing. It's like the good seasoning packets, or good seasons. Italian dressing packets. Now, I made some changes. This recipe was shared to me by one of you guys, my viewers, and I didn't quite have all the ingredients that it called for: basil, thyme, celery, things like that. So I just kind of revamped the recipe and made it simpler by using Italian seasonings. And we have really liked that. In fact, I plan to use that tonight to make a Italian pasta salad. And this second one is ranch dressing. And I have shared this one before in a complete video on how to make the ranch dressing and then how to make the bulk mix as well. And I like to keep this on hand. Not only does this make great ranch dressing if you want, but it makes a great seasoning for a lot of different foods that you're cooking. So it's a nice one to keep on the shelf. Okay, you guys, I saved what I think is the best one for the last one. Do you use Bisquick? That would be my first question. I know I have bought it in the past. I don't like to spend the money on it because I think it's kind of expensive, and I don't really particularly care for all the bad ingredients in it. So I decided, you know, hey, I know you can make this yourself. There's been recipes around for years and years that show you how to make your own all-purpose baking mix. The biggest problem I had with those is that I don't use shortening, and that was always one of the major ingredients in it. And just for health reasons, I don't buy it. I try not to buy foods that have it in it. And so it was like, well, what do? You could substitute butter, but then you have to store it in the refrigerator. How can you make a shelf-stable, healthier version of Bisquick? And that's what I did with this. Instead of using shortening, I have substituted coconut oil. Coconut oil is very shelf stable, and once you make up this mix, it can sit right on your shelf. How great is that? Coconut oil does not go rancid. I mean, eventually it will, but you're talking, you know, we're talking like at least a year or more before it would go rancid. So this is a great alternative to it. I've already used it. I changed the name to My Quick Baking Mix because it works very interchangeably with all Bisquick recipes. So if you have favorite Bisquick recipes, you can look those up online, and then instead of using the Bisquick called for, put in the My Quick Baking Mix instead. I ended up going ahead and making some scones so I could share those with my grandchildren. For this recipe, you can use the Bisquick scone recipe. Like I said, you can find those online, and I'll try to remember to put one at the bottom here with all the other recipes in the description box. But I ended up using some of my homemade jam. I kind of just drizzled that in there and then threw in some dried blueberries. You don't have to do that. You could do just raisins, you could do chocolate chips, you could do whatever it is that you like to put in scones. And I just made those up, and they were really good and very well received by my grandkids.
We got back on the same one. I have a better way to solutionize this.
No! Whoa. I was going to say everybody's going for the big ones.
Wait, you're taking them all. Actually, technically,
the other one you're going to take?
Alright, you go for it. Oh, come on.
Alright, you guys, there are my 5 more baking mixes for your pantry. Frugal and nice to have on hand, and so easy to be able to just throw together. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget the likes. That really helps my channel out a lot. I would love to hear your comments below. If you have a favorite pantry mix that you always enjoy keeping on hand, would you please share it with me below? I would love to know what it is. Alright, you guys, I'll see you all in my next video. Bye-bye. You're welcome.
Thanks, Grandma.
You're welcome.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
It's so delicious.